All right, guys, welcome to a student interview for the Six-Figure Accelerator program. We've got Ty on the call with me. Ty is going to introduce himself in a minute, tell you a little bit about, what he's currently doing, how much revenue he's generating with his agency, and maybe even a little bit about what his agency actually does and the type of business that he helps. So I guess first off, welcome to the video. And secondly, thank you, Ty, for hopping on. And yeah, if you don't mind, just give us a quick intro, what you do, how your agency is doing, and we'll kick it off from there.
Awesome. So first of all, thank you for having me, Adam. Really appreciate you taking the time to get on the call with me. My agency, what we do is we do social media management, and we work primarily with photographers and real estate agents. Really working on niching down towards real estate agents right now, but we have a few photographers who are our clients, and we have a few real estate agents. But I found that right now we're getting better results for the real estate agents, and we're able to charge them higher retainers. So that's more of the direction we're moving in right now. Right now we have 7 clients and we're making around $6,000 revenue monthly. So pretty good so far, aiming to hopefully get to that 10K mark pretty soon. And then beyond, of course. Scaling has been great, since joining the program. Learned a lot about having to systematize my agency, build out those systems that really help you get things done more efficiently. There's something you talk a lot about, Adam. It's the freelancer trap. And that's definitely something that before joining the program, I wasn't even an agency owner, really. I was a freelancer. I was working for my clients, and now I feel like I'm working with my clients, if that makes sense.
Love it, man.
So
love it.
We do social media management, and then we also upsell Facebook ad campaigns. That's the way we kind of get our foot in the door with the social media management, because you charge lower retainers for something like that, but you build the trust up. That's what I found has been really important for my agency, getting our foot in the door and then being able to have that upsell, get up that value ladder with our clients.
Amazing, man. Amazing. I love that approach as well. We offer a very low ticket fee for our new clients right now. And it's that same methodology. It's charge low, get the trust, get good results, and make them really, really like you. And then if you've got something else, boom, you can give them the offer, and they're much more likely then to go for your Facebook ad service that might be slightly more expensive because you've already proven yourself. They know you're good at what you do, and they probably like working with you as well. So love that, man. That's absolutely awesome. Obviously, like you said, systematizing your agency, that's a key thing, right? Once you start that scaling process, look, if you're making 2 to 3K a month, it's fine. You can handle all your clients yourself and it's no big deal. But like that, when you're getting to your level where you're getting to 6K a month, 7K, and getting up to the 10K, like if you are the freelancer, you are going to be getting burned out, right? You're going to be working very, very, very hard in your business. So love to see that you're kind of making that mindset shift and then hiring those people inside your agency as well. So 6K a month, man, that's really good. In terms of like the profitability of your agency, do you have any kind of stats of maybe your profit margin, what it is now? And also I'd love to kind of get your input on where do you think it's going to be when you're at, let's say 10K a month? Do you think it's going to stay the same, or are you looking to drop it or increase it?
So right now I'm working on building out my team. So definitely expecting to take a hit to those profit margins pretty soon. But, that means I'll have more free time, and, money is a renewable resource, time isn't. So that's the trade-off that we kind of have to go to make. So right now my profit margins are around 90% because I only have a couple freelancers on my team. But as far as fixed costs go, my agency, we're at $67 a month, just fixed costs, right? And then we obviously pay our freelancers a little bit. The freelancers are on a retainer model, so it's per piece of content that they create. Right now we're doing $4 per piece of content. So getting a really good deal on that because we're selling content for $500 a month, so great margins on that. We're doing 15 pieces of content plus some management stuff like that. So to actually charge my freelancers to do a lot of the work for me, I'm paying between I think it's $80 to $120, which is client content and then also the management. So the revenue on that is really great and the margins are great as well. But $67 a month is really all the fixed costs of my agency, and the rest I pretty much keep for myself.
Phenomenal. That's really phenomenal, man. And then as you scale up, so obviously, like you said, you're in that process, you're building out the team, you're moving more to that kind of CEO mindset. Where do you see the profit margins going? Do you have a goal that you want to stick to, like 70%, 80%, 90%, or have you thought much about that?
Yeah, so I've actually done the math on this. I want to stay around 77% margins. I'm a big data nerd. We look at a lot of data when we do client analytics, when we do Instagram growth and stuff like that. We're always tracking the numbers with, IG Blade and, Facebook ads and stuff like that. So I'm a huge number nerd. love the spreadsheets and all that. So I'm aiming for 77% profit margins once we're at that 10K mark.
Amazing, man. Amazing. And in my personal opinion, that's a healthy margin where, and what I mean by healthy is two things. One, it's profitable, right? You're not cutting corners, you are making profit, which is the main thing because you are the business owner. The second thing is that it's enough so that you have enough cash flow to actually invest in your business, to pay people, to deliver good results to your clients, and you're not cutting those corners. Because sometimes I see people kind of swing in different directions. You have agency owner one who's got 40% profit margins, so great results with the clients, everyone's super happy in the agency, but the business owner isn't actually making that much. And then we've got the second person where it's the opposite, right? And it's like 95%, but it's either them doing everything or they're just cutting corners and they're burning through clients at a pretty fast rate. So my personal opinion, 70 or 77, like you have it, which I love the way it's so specific, is definitely a good number to be at, man. 100%.
And you know, I think profit margin in the agency base is pretty much a choice. You kind of decide what your margins are because you set those rates both with your clients and with your team, and you decide what softwares are going to be worth it and which ones aren't. Right now, we're pretty lean. We just pay for IG Blade, which is Instagram analytics. We pay like $12 a month for email, like $1 a month for domain. And then we pay Slack, which is something that we've just brought on. I feel like there's another one. Calendly, that's the other one we use.
Calendly,
so
okay.
Really cheap right now, but we're going to see those margins diminish as we try to deliver a higher quality service. You know, always on the lookout for softwares that can save us time and provide a better client experience. You know, that's my focus now is how can I make this a better deal for my clients? How can I give them more value while still keeping our profit margins really healthy?
Amazing, man. Amazing. And having that mindset there is going to help you go far, because if you don't look at the client results and, like you said, the client experience, you know, you're going to run into trouble. Even if you can attract 10 clients a week, if you cannot keep your current clients happy, you're going to have churn issues, meaning that clients come on board and they're gone. You never see them again. So if you can keep the MRR up, your monthly recurring revenue, by just keeping, you know, 90% of your clients every month, you're going to be in a really, really great position, because it means that if you have a slow month and you only sign one client, you might actually make the same amount of revenue because you've only lost one client and you've brought on one. Whereas if you start getting into that gray area of really burning and churning through clients, it's going to be tricky. So awesome stuff, man. That sounds pretty decent. And you made an interesting point at the start, right? Of you're kind of niching down now. So you have kind of two types of clients at the moment, both photographers and the real estate agents. Why do you think that you're going to go with real estate? Is it easier to work with them? Do you just charge higher amounts to your clients? Or what is it kind of that reason that's forcing you to say, hey, real estate is the industry for me?
Yeah. So just a little context here. Before I got into the agency space, I was doing Instagram theme pages, right? Which is cool. You grow Instagram pages around a certain topic. And I owned a lot of these big travel pages. So they showcase photography and stuff like that. So that was kind of my intro into the agency space. You know, I already had sort of like a case study with my Instagram page. You know, I didn't have clients, but, you know, I had 40,000 followers on this travel page. So what I was doing is I was selling promotions to photographers, and I realized I might be able to just come in and do all the work for them and charge a higher retainer for that. So I transitioned from just selling promos to actually wanting to run their social media accounts. So started with photographers because I was able to have my case study and branch out into them. The problem with photographers is that there's plenty of them on Instagram. You know, there's tons and tons of crappy photographers on the Instagram. That's their platform. It's like LinkedIn for photographers. So it is a very important platform for them, but there's a lot of bad ones on there. And a lot of photographers just don't have the money to pay, you know, $500, $1,000, $1,500 a month for advertising and marketing and things like that. So a lot of it has to come down to the budget. You know, real estate agents, they make great commissions off, you know, they have a high ticket sale. So it's a lot easier for them to make their money back. I only need to get them one close every 2 months to break even for our service, right?
Nice.
So it's a lot easier to deliver results for real estate agents because the bar is so much lower versus photographers, where our services are already pricey for them. And if we're not booking them, you know, 3, 4, 5 sessions in a month, they're losing money. So it just comes down to the quality of service I'm able to provide, wanting to raise our profit margins and obviously my agency's revenue. So just having to transition into that industry is what I think is going to be best for my agency.
Awesome, man. Awesome. And that's very interesting. I didn't actually know that you had that background with the Instagram team pages. I didn't do Instagram, but I did Twitter team pages. So this was my first introduction, like years and years ago. It was just meme pages. And like that, you know, I got to, I think it was 20K followers. And I was like, yeah, let's just sell retweets. Again, it was the same methodology,
So
just
right.
you get paid. You know, at the start, it was probably like $15, super cheap, but it was like, wow, there's some money in this. And that obviously builds your skills as well. So yeah, that's just a side note, but a funny coincidence.
Yeah, absolutely invaluable. That skill, you know, I was making like $8 a promo off it,
Nice.
but the experience you get from that, you know, you learn
Yeah.
how to actually do social media marketing by doing it yourself. So I already had a few years of experience in that. And I realized I can do this at scale and I know how to do this really well. I don't have to hire a team to do that. I know how to do it already. So
awesome, man.
really
Awesome.
natural.
Amazing.
Yep.
I love it. So yeah, man, look, you've probably been doing this full time, right? Like your agency is at a stage where it's making you a full-time income. Do you have other commitments? You know, are you in college? Do you have any side gigs going on, or is your agency your sole focus at the time being?
Yeah. So I am a college student. I go to the University of Florida. I'm doing double bachelor's right now. I already have that one degree right there.
Yeah, I can see
going
it.
for a couple more. Yeah. I like college. You know, a lot of people say college is a scam. Don't do college if you want to do your agency, but you know, I enjoy it. So the agency thing has kind of been an obsession for me, to be honest. It is my full-time thing, but I also have college that I do full-time as well.
Full-time. Amazing.
Yeah.
I just want to take my virtual hat off to you, Ty, because you know, when I was in college, I was doing freelancing at the time, and I found it really hard. You know, even though like that, I was doing college, it wasn't taking me 40 hours a week. It was probably taking me 20, 25 hours, and then I was doing freelancing. But like, I was at a much, much lower scale than you know, and I was finding that tough. So first off, amazing that you can keep it up with the two things full time. And also just wanted to bring that up because, you know, a lot of people who look into starting SMMA, look, most people have a job. Like they're doing this on the side at the start. They're either still in college or they do have a 9 to 5 where they can't spend 12 hours a day on their agency when they start off. And, you know, I've had a lot of people come into my program where they've been in that scenario similar to you, where like you're actually doing 30, 40 hours a week in college or a job, but you've still managed to put in the work, build systems in your agency so that you are earning a full-time income, but you may not actually be working full-time essentially. So I just wanted to bring that up because, again, I think people will want to know that, you know, or do you have other commitments or is this all that you do? So, you know, do you have any tips as well, Ty? Like, you know, is there anything that you find helps you balance the two? Is it just that you're really good at time management? Or like you said, you know, look, if your agency is an obsession, maybe you're just super obsessed with it and that's what keeps you going, right?
Yeah. So, you know, I'll level with you, right? The best thing about the agency is how flexible it is. If you want to get more clients and you want to make more money, you know, there's a very systematic way to go and do that. If you want to spend more time on it, what is really most important once you built out those systems is just sales. That's the most time consuming part. So really most of my time is all spent on outreach. So the agency model, it's not very time consuming, but it can be if you want it to be. And the same thing with the revenue you generate, right? If you treat the agency like a full-time job, it will become a full-time gig. So there's a lot of flexibility with it. Outreach is the majority of my time. I'm not great at time management by any means. It's just that, you know, I choose to spend my time doing this when I have the time to do it. So it isn't that big a hassle now that I'm at this point. You know, it took some time to learn. That was really, you know, I've been doing this for a while now. Most of the time I spent learning, and now most of my time is spent on sales. I've done all the learning I need to do, and now I can just focus on scaling up. So it's not too bad. Yeah.
Love it, man. It's a good position to be in, you know. Scaling up is it's fun because you've put in the hard work, you've put in the work, and you've built up, like you said, that learning that you needed to do. So absolutely awesome, man. Now let's say, right, during your college, right? Because I'm not sure if you're in there right now or do you have a break or whatever, but when you do have classes going on, you got assignments and all that stuff, what does your typical day look like between college and then the agency? Is it a 50-50 split or are you spending more time on one or the other?
I use all my free time on my agency, but it's because I like doing what I do.
You like it. Yeah.
I really, I think realistically I could do it maybe just 30 minutes. If I just wanted to maintain my clients, all I'd have to do is 30 minutes worth of work a day, just to, you know, check in with my team, check in with my clients, check my email, things like that. But if I want to scale up, you know, there are days where I spend a few hours doing outreach, you know? So when I'm in college, I'm probably doing schoolwork 6 hours a day in between classes and homework and stuff like that. So the rest of that time, though, is really just focus on my agency and focus on whatever it is I want to do. You know, it's really at this point, like I said, it's a choice. You know, everything in your agency is a choice. How much money you make, what kind of clients you take on, how much time it takes out of your day. So I've just at this point decided that I want to spend more time on my agency to scale it faster. Yeah, that's what it's been.
Love it, man. Love it. I can already feel the value from this video. Like, people are going to get such a good insight into what it's actually like, you know, actually inside the mind of someone who's doing it. But again, you're doing it alongside other things and you're making it work. Also, look, the fact that you can keep the agency going on 30 minutes or an hour a day and be pulling in 6K per month is phenomenal. Yeah. And that, again, that's why I love the agency so much, is that I've done a lot of those things, right? So Instagram, I didn't really do too much, but I did Twitter team pages, I did drop shipping, I had an e-commerce brand, done all these other kind of side hustles and gigs. And for me, with all those, it was not like this. It was not where like, oh, I can step back and do 30 minutes. It was like, no, if you want to eat and you want to make money, you're going to put in 5, 6, 7 hours today and tomorrow and the next day just to get that same amount of money. So I just love the agency because of that systematized way you can build it, so that, like you said, if you want to scale, you can scale. But if you want to sit back, enjoy a bit more of your free time and keep pulling in a decent chunk of money, you can also do that. So incredible stuff, man. Incredible stuff. And like, let's say now over the next 12 months, Ty, where do you see the agency going? Are you going to keep pushing it to its heights, or do you just want to reach a certain level and kind of automate the agency at that point? Or what does that look like for you?
Yeah, you know, this is something that it's kind of getting exciting right now. I didn't even know this was possible. I was skeptical when I started getting to the agency space. It sounds like a get rich quick scheme.
For sure.
It's a terrible thing to say, but a lot of people do it wrong. It's simple, but not easy. So at this point, I've really discovered that, all this stuff is possible, and I'm thinking bigger. Before I was thinking like 10K a month would be great. Now I'm thinking 20, 30, maybe even 40K, in the next year. Again, with the amount of time I'm putting into it and with the passion I have right now, if I continue to do this for a year, I have no idea where I'll be, but it's going to be up there, I assume.
Amazing.
Exciting
man.
stuff. It's exciting. Yeah.
Love it. I know exactly how you're feeling as well. It's that period where like things are working, you're getting the swing of it. Like you said, you've put in that work, and now it's the fun stuff. It's just keeping that momentum going. And yeah, man, I think from what you're doing, like, those goals are completely realistic. And that's not me saying that, everybody can do it. It's just that based off what you're doing, 100%, you can definitely make that work.
I think everyone can do it. You just got to get over
around the corner.
Yeah. Just got to get over that first hump. It's not easy at the start by any means. It seems very complicated, but the more you do it, you get that experience. You talk to other people. That's one of the best things about, your program, is that I'm getting to meet other agency owners, learn from them. That has expedited my process by months, I assume. I can't even tell you how valuable it's been just to be able to network with yourself and, the other agency owners. I'm thinking that's going to shave so much time and save me a lot of money in the future. Yeah.
100%, man. 100%. I think that's such a key reason why we have those calls. It's every week, every Monday, we've got that call for 1 to 1.5 hours. And again, it's just so that you can literally, you're attending the call to save time and to make more money. Like, it's as simple as that. If you implement what other agency owners are doing, like yourself and other people in the program, you're just going to get results. It's just the way it is. But you made a really good point there. It's not easy. It's simple. And I love that. I always say that to people. And I think that's where it gets kind of that bad name of, oh, it's just a get rich quick scheme, or it's just some other online business thing that's a fad. And it's like, it's not. Trust me. It's a real life business that has been around for a very long time. There's marketing agencies in every city in the world that have physical offices. It's just what we're doing with a digital agency is just slightly different. We're doing it all online. We're using freelancers from abroad so we can keep our costs low. It's just a different way of using a pre-existing business. It's nothing new. It's just we're taking a new spin on what has been done for years and years before. But when you started, Ty, like, how long did it take you to get that first client? Because for me and my agency, even though I did some freelancing beforehand, it took a long time. Like, it probably took, I don't know, 4, 5, 6 months to get the first client. Obviously, we scaled fast straight after that, but it did take a decent chunk of time at the start.
Yeah. I'm embarrassed to say this, but for the first 3 months, I made no money. And, it's my fault is really what it comes down to. I wasn't taking this probably as seriously as I needed to be taking it. I was trying to do everything. So, I was doing web design. I was doing Facebook ads, social media management. I didn't have a niche. I was doing everything wrong. So I'd made no money for the first 3 months. And, there were times where I wanted to quit. On day 89, if I quit, I definitely wouldn't have been here. So, that's the hardest part about this, is you have to be consistent. You have to be always learning, and you have to be willing to be really critical with yourself and track all your numbers. That's another thing I tell everyone. if you're not tracking your numbers, you can't improve anything. So
Yes,
for the first 2
sir.
months, I made no money. But then in month 3, I got my first client, and it wasn't even a big client. It was $300 a month. So, but it was more of a proof of concept thing.
Yeah.
It was very exciting, even if it was just that amount. It was just proving to myself, like, maybe I can actually do this,
Amazing, man. Amazing. Again, some really key points in there. Stay consistent. Don't give up after 1 month because you didn't make $10,000 already. Keep consistent with it. Again, it's like if you show up every day and you reach out to 50 to 100 businesses every day for 30, 60, 90 days, it's very rare that you're not going to get a client. But again, if you don't do that and you reach out to 10 businesses today, you do 5 tomorrow, you do 2 the next day, and you do nothing for 3 days, of course, you're probably not going to get a client straight away. Well, why would you get a client if you're not even showing up and reaching out to businesses? So such a key point. Also tracking your numbers. There's so many times where people will say, hey, like that, I'm not getting clients. I've been doing this for 1 month, 30 days, and I haven't got a single client yet. And I say, hey, let's look at the numbers. How many people have you messaged every day? Show me the numbers. Let's look at it. How many people responded to you? How many calls did you have? And they're like, oh, I didn't really track any of it. I didn't do it. I'm like, you need to be doing it. You got to be tracking those numbers, man. So amazing that you're already doing that. But just a key point that I just have to reiterate for everyone. It's track those numbers 100%.
Absolutely.
And when it comes to sales, Ty, sales is an interesting one, and it's a thing that I think holds a lot of people back as well of starting an agency. It's a bit scary. You're going to a business owner who could be like 30, 40, 45, 50 years old, right? Super experienced, been in the game a long time. And you're going to them, if you're like me and you, where you're in your 20s or so, and you're saying, hey, let me run your stuff. Like, let me do your marketing and you pay me a chunk of money every month. It can be super daunting. So are there any tips that you've found that have helped you with sales, whether that was to get the first client or now as you're actually scaling up the agency?
Yeah. I think you make a great point there. Sales is super intimidating. I always think of, I thought of business owners as like Gordon Ramsay or Gary Vee. Like they're going to come in and just yell at me and call me an idiot. It's an intimidating thing to do, but the best way I've learned to do it is not look at it as a sales call. Look at it as more of a conversation, right?
Nice.
Provide value to the person and don't be too salesy. The best way to sell something is to not sell it. Come in, give them value, have a conversation with them. Business owners are people too, and people buy from people. So just trying to get in the call with them, just have a conversation with them. Experience also helps a lot, of course, but it's not as intimidating as you think it may be, because it just turns out you're just talking to them. It's just like right now, we're just having a conversation, and
yes, sir.
You're giving me value, I'm giving you value, and that's how it is. We're exchanging value and building up our credibility. And then at the end, we can come in, we can see, hey, maybe we can help you do this, this, and this. But by giving them value in the call, in my discovery calls, what we do is we go on their pages and we look through it and we talk about it, right? So nice. I ask them, what are your pain points? How is this working for you? And I'm able to give them advice, give them value, and already they see me as an authority figure. So we just flip the script immediately. They book in the call with me. It's all about setting the pretense of that meeting, and the rest all feeds into itself. It's very natural.
Nice, man. Nice. Yeah. I love that. I think that's pretty much my methodology for sales as well. It's no high pressure sales tactics. It's very much just like you said, it's a conversation. You give value, you ask deep questions, you get them to open up, and you give advice. At the end of the day, if you don't give advice, they won't see you as an authority figure, like you said. Whereas if you give advice after you've asked them about the struggle they're having and you can help them fix that struggle, of course, they're going to see you as someone they're going to trust, right? Because you know what you're talking about. Yeah, man. Awesome stuff. Awesome stuff. I also just want to go back real quickly. You mentioned that your first client was $300 a month. Okay. So some people might be watching this saying, hey, I heard you can sign clients for $1,000, $2,000, $3,000, $4,000 per month. What made you go for $300 a month? And the reason I bring this up is because I had someone yesterday reach out to me. He got his first client on a trial run for $300 per month. And he wasn't too excited about it. He was kind of like, yeah, whatever, it's a trial month. And I was like, man, that's amazing. It doesn't matter. You don't need to make loads of money off your first client. It's like you said, it's proof of concept. It's getting that deal locked in so you can understand you did a sales call and it worked. You then onboarded your client and it worked. And then hopefully you go ahead and get good results for your clients. So for you, when you were starting off, was it a case of like that? You just wanted to get something in, get the experience up, and then build it up from there?
Well, here's the thing, right? I had got a few people who said, yes, we want your services before I signed that first client. I was actually kind of picky with my first client, trying to build that credibility and use their page as a case study really is my goal with my first client. And I had turned clients away, and that's, kind of a hard thing to do when you're making no money, but sticking to those morals. If I don't think I can get a client result, I'm not going to sign them. Simple as that. And back when I wasn't doing niches, like, when I wasn't working with just photographers and real estate agents, it was kind of hit and miss. I would look at something and say, I maybe have no idea what even approach to take to this, and have to turn them away. So, I was really excited to take that first 300 a month client because I knew I could get them good results. I knew I could use them as a case study, and I knew I could use them to sort of test my systems, see what is going to provide them value. What can I add on to this next? After that first one, when it rains, it pours is really what it was for me. Yeah.
Love it, man. Love it. It was the exact same for us. We took on our first client. It was a decent retainer. For us, it was 1.2K. So $1,200 US. Yeah. If you're watching this and you're in Ireland, it's probably about 1,000 euro. But it was for a big deal. It was like 30 pieces of social media content, daily stories, minimum 4 to 5 a day, plus growing the page, plus commenting, DMing, doing everything. So it was actually quite a lot of work for that retainer. But we went in with that same mindset. Let's just get this in. We know we can help them, and let's build it into a case study. And we did. It's the case study we pretty much use to this day. And it was that first client that we brought in. So were you able to actually take that first client into a case study?
Yeah, I show that client results on my Upwork profile.
Yes,
I show it everywhere.
Love it.
I show it to everyone. I've actually built it out into like part of my pitch deck now. So
nice.
Yeah, it's actually, it was a great choice. I'm glad I took that client, and, it only takes one. To really get started, get to know what you're doing. One client can change everything. If it's $1,000 a month client, so for some people that's enough. You can quit your full-time job. It can just be that client. So getting that first client is really the most important thing in my mind, just getting to test everything. And it's a proof of concept. It proves to you that you can do it. So very exciting stuff. Yeah.
Awesome, man. Awesome. Love that.
Another point I have really quick is that we upsell our clients, right? Something I'm sure you're probably familiar with is the value ladder. We don't just have one package. We custom build all of our packages. A lot of the times what we do is we get clients in on the ground floor. We just do social media management for like $500 a month, right?
Yeah.
Then a month, 2 months, 3 months later, we hit them with a Facebook ads campaign, and then we've tripled our retainer. So what we've done by doing that is, one, we built trust. A lot of the times I think there is, a broken model in SMA where you get someone in one meeting and you ask them for $2,000. It's a lot harder to close a client for that than to get your foot in the door for 500. And then 3 months later, once you've got them great results, hit them with a $2,000 retainer. Also, when you do that, you're collecting data that whole time. You're actually ready to launch an educated Facebook ads campaign. We have all this data. We have all this targeting information we can use from the work we've already done. And we're building out these social media platforms so they look good when you're running the traffic through them. Those are obviously going to convert better when you have more content on there, when you have the social proof of having a few hundred or thousand followers. So that's a huge tip for me. Start maybe even with social media management, learn how to do Facebook ads for a few months, and then hit your clients with that upsell.
Amazing. Yeah. Couldn't agree more, man. Couldn't agree more. Again, I think you're right. There is a bit of a broken offer with SMA where people do want to charge 2 or 3K per month per client when they haven't done this before and they're just coming in for the first time. And like, even if you do land a client doing that, because it's gonna be hard to do so, right? Again, like you said, it's harder to sell that than to sell, hey, 500, let's prove the concept and we'll do more if the results are good. Even if you do get a client in on that, the expectations are way higher. They're thinking, okay, I'm paying 3,000, so I need to make 10,000 back every month, or I'm out of here and I'm leaving. So I think there's a lot of logic in that, and I would agree with you. Start low, especially for your first few clients. Upsell them if you can, or even just start low for the first few clients. Again, just to get experience, build that case study, and get the data. Yeah, for sure, man. So for anyone watching, if you're thinking, hey, I got to charge 2K, you don't. You can if you want to, be my guest. But there is a lot of value in just going with that lower ticket offer. Like you said, build the trust, build a rapport, and then you can upsell if it all feels good. So awesome stuff, man. Yeah, Ty, like I think we've covered quite a lot there. We've looked at where you're at now, where you're going to, kind of your goals. We've looked at a lot of your learnings. And again, you've dropped tons of value, like tons and tons. We could probably like break down this call and take like 100 pieces of value from it. But like, is there anything that you would say to 2 types of people? Okay, so number one, the person right now that is freelancing. They're making, let's say they're making 1 to 3K per month. They've no team members. They're doing everything. And maybe they're targeting multiple niches, multiple services, and it's all just a bit all over the place. And then secondly, the person who's starting from zero, right? No experience. They're pretty new to marketing. They know they like it. They may have learned about it in college, but they haven't actually gone out there and done marketing. Any kind of final advice that you'd leave to those people?
Yeah. So for the first one, if you're a freelancer, and this is going to sound maybe a bit crude, but think bigger. There's a whole lot of potential in the agency model. It's going to take a lot of work. We said it's simple, but not easy. If you're a freelancer right now and you're looking to start an agency, absolutely do it. It's going to be difficult, especially for those first maybe 1, 2, 3 months, but absolutely worth it. There's a model that you can transition from being a freelancer to a CEO. And that's what I had to do. I'm doing a lot less work than I was 3 months ago, and I'm making way more money than I was 3 months ago. So it's just about being efficient with your time. We talked about how money is a resource that you can get back, time isn't. So that's my advice to a freelancer. Definitely look into thinking bigger. If you're new to this, it's not as easy as I think some of the gurus make it out to be. Absolutely possible. I've seen it done. There's so many people in our program that are making it happen every single day. It's possible to do, but you have to be committed to it. Investing in the program, is one of the best things I've done, because it was for me a commitment. I'm paying to join this program. I'm paying to get to network with all these people. I'm paying attention. People say when you pay attention. So really, you have to take it seriously. If you want to make this a full-time income, you have to treat it like a full-time income. So it's not easy, but taking the leap and just being able to open your mind, learn every day is what I would tell someone who's new. Try different things, and then ultimately niche down to one service for one niche, and then scale upward from there. Keep it as simple as possible. Always be learning and be willing to invest in yourself, both time and money.
Amazing. I'm just gonna drop the mic real quick. That was phenomenal, man. Love it. So yeah, guys, if you're watching this, I hope you got some value. I know I definitely did. Ty, you probably got some as well. But yeah, I hope you got some value, guys. Give this video a like if you did get value. If you want to see more interviews like this, definitely do let us know. And apart from that, if you want to connect with Ty, you want to maybe ask him some questions, Ty will probably drop his Instagram or his Facebook or something. I'll put it in the description of this video. You can check him out, have a chat with him. And yeah, Ty, just want to thank you for hopping on. And if you want to stay on, we'll just chat for an extra couple of minutes if you're free.
Yeah, absolutely. Let people message me. I love talking about this stuff. I love networking with people like that. So if someone does have a question, seriously, hit me up. We'll put it in the description or something, Adam. Sounds great.
Perfect. Sounds good, man. Awesome.